Hello, amazing legends. Okay, we're going to get smashing into this. Now, we're going to start with just some series of different features that you can do within Solidworks. So my introduction video talked about just a simple extrude. Okay, so if we go back to up the top here, we've got part. So I've clicked on the new document here. We've got part, hit selected and click OK. Before we create any feature at all, if we remember, we need to create a sketch. So let's click on the sketch ribbon here. And again, nothing's active, so we're going to hit the sketch button. And we're going to, at this stage, keep everything continually simple. All right, so we're going to click on the front plane. Now, what I want to do is we've done a simple boss extrude. Okay, so we've created a solid feature in the beginning video. This time what I want to do is use that solid feature and actually take material away from it. So let's just start simply again. So we're going to get in the practice of sketching. We're going to go here onto our drawing tools, and here we have our little drop down. And I want you to just simply choose center rectangle tool, and our mouse cursor has changed, as you can see. Now we're going to take the tip of our pencil to the origin, which is right there in the middle of those two red arrows. And again, we're going to single left click, I've single left clicked. And now I'm just going to drag my mouse down and around. Don't overly stress about any dimensions because we are going to dimension this manually. So once we've sort of got a bit of a square shape, single left click again, and you'll see that now sort of shades in that it's a complete. You'll notice down the bottom here it says underdefined. That's purely because we haven't added any dimensions yet. So let's go back up to the top of our sketch ribbon here. We'll select our Smart Dimension button. Now all we're going to do is we're going to make this a 100 by 100 cube. So as we move over to one of these vertical lines, again, we don't want to select the yellow dot in the middle. All right, so come away from that dot, single left click on that orange line and bring that out. Now, if you do happen to click on that dot, you can actually just, the top left corner of your keyboard is an escape button, ESC. You can just press that escape button and it will get rid of it. Then you can come back, you can select that complete line, drag that dimension out, single left click and type in 100, and I just press enter on my keyboard. Or if we click this top line and bring that up, I can type in 100, and if I wanted to, I could select this green tick here. Now there are so many shortcuts here in this software, and as we develop our skills and get more comfortable with it, we'll come through and go through some of these shortcuts. Now you'll notice our box now has turned black. All the lines have turned black, and down the bottom here it says fully defined. That means we can't give this 100 by 100 square any further dimensions. So we're now going to add the extrude boss base feature to make it a 100 by 100 cube. So we'll come back up the top here and we'll select the features tab to open up the features ribbon. And you'll notice along here there are a whole heap of features. Now most of them are shaded out, which means we can't use them. The ones that are coloured, we can use them, but again I want to just focus on the extruded boss base for now. So let's select that. Two ways to dimension your extruded boss base. One way is to bring your mouse cursor over to this arrow where it's going to turn orange, and if you hold your left mouse button down on that orange arrow, you can drag it along a ruler to a dimension that you want. The other way to do it is I know that I want this to be 100 by 100 by 100. So on the left hand side here, we are going in a blind direction. We're going one way. And here I'm going to type in 100 and press enter. Now remember from that video, your scroll wheel will make things bigger and smaller. And if you press and hold your scroll wheel down, boom, like that, and then move your mouse, you will orbit your design. Now we don't want to click on this arrow here because then that will take an extrude out the other way and we won't have a 100 by 100 cube. So we just want to leave it like that at the moment and green tick Bada boom, there is our cube. The next stage, we are now going to, and as you can see, we have a solid object here, and all of a sudden on our features tab, all of these different features have now coloured in. There are things that we can do now, but again, we need to sketch something on here so that the computer knows what we're doing. So I want to go back to our front view. Now, how do I know what was my front view? Because I've spun this cube around and it's equal, even on all the sides. I'm going to go to this heads up display here, and right here in the middle, view orientation, I'm going to click on that, and here right in the middle we've got front. Again, you can use keyboard shortcuts if you're getting used to it. We've got left, right, back, bottom, top, but we want front, so I'm going to left click on that, and boom, there's my front. So before we can do a feature, we need to sketch something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this, so just have a look for a sec. Don't go play with the mouse and stuff, but just have a look. If I select the sketch button, right, nothing is selected or highlighted here in the graphics area or the cube, and I hit the sketch button, I get this yellow message, and the yellow message says, well, yeah, okay, really cool, man, you want to sketch something, but you haven't told me what you want to sketch on. That's like you walking into an art class, or you know, you grab a pencil or a texter or whatever, and you think to yourself, right, well, I now need to draw something, but where's my paper? Where's my canvas? What am I going to draw on? And that's exactly what this yellow box is saying. It says you want to sketch something, but what is it you want to draw on? So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and again, don't stress just yet, but if I select that face, the yellow box goes away, and now I'm in drawing mode. So that's one thing that you can do. Now the other thing, I'm just going to get out of that sketch, okay, and I'm just going to show you the other way. The other way is I already know that I want to sketch on the surface. So I'll left click on it, and it turns blue. Now because that's turned blue, if I go to my sketch tab and I select my sketch button, boom, I don't get a yellow box of, you know, what do you want to draw on, because I've already selected it. So it knows, the software knows that that's what I'm drawing. So either way you want to go about it, I want you to get this front view of this cube selected and sketch ready. And when I say sketch ready, it means we can see that the origin is right here in the middle. We've got our red arrows, and I've got like my little exit sketch buttons over here, and I've got my sketch live here underneath the rollback bar. So I've got everything going on that tells me we're ready to sketch. So what I want you to do now is we're going to select this little circle tool. All right, and as you can see, the little video says we left click where we want and then drag our mouse out and it creates a circle. So let's do that. Left click to select the circle first. Now let's move our mouse cursor, which is the tip of our pencil. Let's go to the origin here. And I want you to single left click on that origin, and we're just going to drag this mouse out and single left click again. I'm not worried about dimensions because we are going to dimension this. So once you've single left click, you don't have. Now some people get carried away and they go, all of a sudden I've got all these circles going on because I've got carried away and I've clicked my button too many times and crikey. So the first thing we do is we can press escape on our keyboard too. You see how that circle tool disappeared on the left hand side here? And then we've either got an undo button at the top here, or as you can see, if you're used to keyboard shortcuts in like Microsoft Word and stuff, Control Z is an undo button. So if I press Control and then Z, slowly but surely all my mistakes disappear. And I'm left with this one circle. So let's get Smart Dimension tool. Let's hover on the outside. You'll see that line turn, that circumference there turns orange like the square did, and let's drag that circle out, that dimension out. We're going to make that 25 and press enter. Okay, so we've got a 25mm circle. Cool beans. Right, Last thing we want to do is now we want to actually cut some of that material out. Okay, so we're not going to add and we're not going to make it solid. We're actually going to remove some of that material. So let's go to our Features tab. And if we have a look along our Features tab, you'll see we've got obviously still some options highlighted more than what we've had before. We're not revolve cutting. We will cover that in a whole nother section. But this time we're going to extrude cut. And as you'll see, it says cuts a solid model by extruding a sketched profile in one or two directions. If the cut affects multiple bodies, blah, 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 blah. Lots of detail. Basically, it's just getting rid of some material. So let's left click to select that extruded cut. Now, if I happen to hold my mouse wheel down and spin that around, because it's recognizing the dimension of the extrude we did before, it's actually wanting to cut that all the way through. And you can actually see if you wanted to, you can drag that all the way through, do all sorts of weird and wonderful things, right? I actually want us to just extrude cut that 2 millimeters. So over here, I'm going to highlight the dimension over here, and I'm going to just type in 2 and press enter, because I don't want it to be sticking out a long way. So 2 millimeters, there it is, and I can either green tick over here on the top right hand side of my graphics display area, or I can green tick here, boom, 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 done. Let's try to do this again. This time we're going to do 2 circles. And we're going to do 2 circles. This time we're going to do 2 circles on, I don't know, let's go to the top view. Alright, so let's select the top view. There it is. Now, I'm going to first click on it to turn it blue. And you'll see these little, you know, if you move your mouse too quick, it disappears. Okay? No panic. We'll cover that in other avenues. If I click on it again, it's there, and I can actually go straight into, instead of bouncing around up here on the ribbon, if I click on it again, you'll see there's a little sketch tab right there. So I'm going to click that. And what I want to do now, the origin is now up on the edge because we've moved. We're not sitting looking at the front anymore. But what we're going to do is we're going to get our circle tool, and I'm not clicking my mouse yet, but you'll notice that there's like a reference line there, a dotted reference line. That tells me I'm right in the center of my mouse, of my blah, 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 blah. Actually, we haven't clicked anything yet. So let's go back up here to the drawing tools, because I've just changed my mind, because I'm allowed to do that. We're going to click the drop down arrow on the line tool, and we're going to select center line. Okay, so I want you to select center line. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go into the top right hand corner here. There's an orange dot, and I want you to single left click on that, and I want you to bring an angled line all the way down to the bottom orange dot, and single left click again. Now by doing that, we've still got this line attached. Alright, so if I just bring this line out somewhere, just out here, wherever, I can either press escape on my keyboard, or I can double click my mouse and it's there. Now if you double click too slowly, you'll end up drawing another line and it gets messy and messy. So what did we do before with all the circles? We pressed escape on our keyboard to detach everything, and Control Z to undo the lines we don't want. Okay, cool beans. Let's just do that one more time though. So let's get our center line tool, but this time we're going to start at the top left, and we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom right and click. Now bring our mouse out, and remember, double click nice and quick, it should disappear. If not, escape, do what you need to do. Alright, so what we've got now is effectively we do have a center point here, but we want 2 dots, and we want the 2 dots to be even. Alright, so let's grab our circle tool, and let's just somewhere here in the middle, click and draw one circle. And come over here, down here on this line, click and draw another circle. Again, there are some more technical stuff that I could put into this, but we are just beginners. Alright, so we're going to take it easy and take it slow. Let's get our smart dimension tool, and we know the other circle was 25, so let's make this 25, and let's click on this circle here and 25, so we should be okay with that. Now I want these circles to be nice and even from the top corners. So if I move my mouse cursor, the point there, into the middle of the circle, you'll see the circle, the center of the circle turns orange, and we actually need to put a dimension in this gap here. So we're going to click the dimension tool twice. We're going to click it once on that orange dot, you'll see it turns blue, and then down the bottom here, once on the bottom there, and now we've got this dimension. Now obviously it depends on where you move your mouse, that dimension can go all sorts of wickety weird ways. If you go straight up, you get that dimension. If you go straight out, you get that dimension. If you come up on an angle, you'll kind of get that angled dimension. And again, more little tricks I can show you later on. Just right now, let's just bring that straight out on an angle like that. And we're going to left click and we're going to type in 35. We're going to do the same at the top here. We're going to click on this dot and this dot. And we're going to come up and we're going to get it in the middle there, left click, and make that 35. So now our two circles are nice and even in the middle. Beautiful. We're going to now cut those two circles 2 millimeters. So, and our sketch is fully defined, our circles are black, everything's happy. Let's go to our features tab. Let's come across to our extruded cut button. And here's our 2 millimeter depth that it recognizes from before, so we don't need to change that. Excuse me, I just had cornflakes and fresh fruit for lunch. So we don't need to change that. And if we green tick, boom, 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 we've got 1 and 2. Alright, so that is how you're going to do things with diagonals. Alright, you're going to draw a center line from point to point and point to point, and then you're going to draw circles on those. Let's have a go. Let's have a go at putting four dots on here. Can you kind of guess what we might be building? If you said a giraffe, not quite. If you said a boat, not yet. We might get onto that. If you said a dice, we're having a crack at just simple things to start with. So let's go to what we might think. We've done top view. As you can see, when we hover over it, it shows us. So let's, I don't know. I mean, I've tried to research. There's no specific way numbers are on a dice. So let's just click the right view. And we're going to select this top surface here. And because this little drop pop-up is still here, I'm going to select the sketch button. Now, remember, if you happen to scroll to a point where your design disappears off the screen, oh my goodness, where's it gone? Where's it gone? Heads up display up here, the very first button is a zoom to fit magnifying glass. If I click that, boom, it's back here. So that's really cool. So we're in sketch mode. I want to put in 4 circles. And I want them to be evenly spaced. So we are going to do a little bit of tricky stuff here, okay? So, let's get our center line tool and let's practice with our little diagonals here. Boom, and I'll double click. Come up here. Boom, double click. There. Let's get our circle tool now. So if I go too fast, you can pause and rewind them, and that's okay. So we've got our circle tool. Let's go around on all 4 of these angled lines and draw our circle tool. Now I'm going to green tick over here on the left. I'm going to green tick out of my circle tool. And then in the graphics area, actually no, I'm going to do something a little bit different. This is a little bit tricky, but I'm sure if you just take your time, pause it, rewind it, work through it, you'll get it. So I have one circle here still blue, and all the circles need to be 25 millimeters in diameter. So we can either get our Smart Dimension tool and we can go around, and we can dimension all 4 circles, or I could actually tell the computer that I want all these 4 circles to be equal together. So if I change the dimension of one, all of them change. And it's really handy sometimes depending on what you're doing. So with one circle highlighted light blue, I'm going to get my little secret pointy finger here, and on the bottom corner of your keyboard is a control button, CTRL. I'm going to press and hold the control button down. And what I'm going to do is as I go around, you'll see the circle turns orange. So I'm going to click on that one. Ooh, that turned light blue. I'm going to click on that one. Ooh, that turned light blue. And I'm going to click on that one, and that turns light blue. And you'll see they're all selected, and on the left hand side here it actually says selected entities. Arcs 1, 2, 3 and 4. And down a little bit further it says add relations. Okay, so we're going to delve into relationships a lot more when we get into the like intermediate sort of middle range lessons. But right now, if I choose the equal one that's right in the middle, so if I left click on that, all those circles are going to go to the same size as the very first one that was selected. So click, and they're all the same size now. So I'm going to green tick to get rid of that, and I actually want all these circles to be 25 millimeters in dimension. So I'm going to select my Smart Dimension tool up here, and it doesn't really matter which circle I choose because they're all equal now. I'm going to I'm going to left click, I'm going to bring my dimension out, and when I change that to 25, look at that, they all change. Okay, I want to make these all even spaced, so like we did with the number 2, we're going to go to the center and that edge, I'm going to bring that out, and I think, what did we do? We made them 35, did we? We're going to try anyway. So there are a few other little tools that we can use to make this a lot easier later down the track, but like I said, I'll keep repeating myself saying there are different ways you can do things, there are easier ways you can do things, and we will cover them later, Gator. So they're all 35 millimeters, like just clicking the center and clicking the outside, getting that dimension box, making it 35. Okay. Let's extrude cut these circles 2 millimeters. So we're going to go to the Features tab up here. We're going to come across to the extruded cut. It's already selected as 2, and we're going to green tick. And you'll see if I hold my scroll wheel down and orbit that around, look at that. We've got 1, 2, and 4. What I want you guys to do now is I want you to have a go at, now it could be a little bit tricky, alright, and I don't mind which surface or face you put the 3, 5 and 6 on, but I want you to have a go and see if you can put the 3, 5 and 6 on, and then we'll come back to that later. Good luck! So don't forget, for some more amazing CAD stuff, please like and subscribe and continue watching.